Good evening. Welcome to the monthly Anointed Body Cleanser and Healer Aloe Vera Juice Zoom session. The acronym for Anointed Body Cleanser and Healer Aloe Vera Juice is AC&H Aloe Vera Juice. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are grateful you took the time out of your busy schedule to be here with us tonight. We are here every second Friday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to ask Miss Rebecca anything about aloe vera juice and topical. You can submit questions in advance by going to abch.avjuice@gmail.com or call 202-556-3181 and leave a message. First, let's go over some housekeeping rules. If you're calling in on Zoom, use the reaction button to raise your hand to ask a question. Or you can leave your question in the chat box and it will be recognized by one of our team members. To unmute, click the mute button. To mute yourself back, click the button again. You click the same button for mute and unmute. If you're calling in on a cell phone, use *6, use 6 to unmute. Use 9 to raise your hand. If you have a question, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized before you start speaking. ABC&H team is working in the background. They're monitoring the raised hand and chat box. One of them will call on you. So wait until you're recognized before you start speaking, please. We will have a slide at the end of the session that will give you more information about the company and how to place an order. Before we get started, I would like to remind you the information you hear tonight is not scientific medical advice and is not meant to replace any advice you receive from your healthcare professional. Also, this meeting is being recorded. So if you have a problem being recorded, then you want to leave the meeting at this point. At this time, we will have a prayer from Miss Barbara McCain.
Thank you, Alice. I would ask for those who do know the word of prayer, please bow your heads and pray with me. I say, Heavenly Father, oh God, thank you for this wonderful evening. Heavenly Father, I thank you for coming into the midst, Lord, as we talk about one of your healing plants of the aloe vera family, Heavenly Father. As Miss Rebecca come, you have blessed her so to speak so eloquently. You've given her this healing flower to heal us as we need to be healed, Heavenly Father, because we know that without you, all things are possible. With you, all things are possible, Heavenly Father. We ask that those who are on the line, family, friends, all that who are invited, that you are welcome just to open up and ask the questions that you need, that you put it upon their hearts to not be shy, because this is a session that we are being open, we're family, and we just want everyone just to share their experience and their testimonies. We ask this and all blessings in your holy name, Jesus Christ. Amen. Thank you, Alice.
Amen. Thank you, Barbara. I'm trying to see if Miss Rebecca is on the line.
She is. She's on.
Okay, thank you. I would like to introduce you to Ms. Rebecca Brown. She's the CEO, founder, and developer of ABC&H Aloe Vera Juice and Topical. Ms. Rebecca has been taking this juice since 1982. Ms. Rebecca will take 30 minutes tonight and answer your questions. After that, we will have testimonies. If we don't get to your question tonight, we will be here Friday, June 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you need an answer to your question before next month, please use the chat box and to leave your question, and we will get back with you with an answer. Welcome, Ms. Rebecca.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, how are you? Thank you.
I'm fine, thanks. How's everyone?
Thank you for being here with us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Sure.
I would like to start off by asking the first question that came in. And this question is from Clara. She wants to know, what is the topical and how can it be used?
Okay. The topical is aloe vera juice as well. However, for most of you that have used it, it is very strong and more concentrated. And the reason for that is this. It is to be used on the outside of the body. And whether you understand or not, and I hope you do, the skin is an organ. So it is to be used on the skin. You can use it in the hair, anywhere on the outside of the body. Now, it also can be used inside. When I say inside, I'm talking about in your eyes, in your ears, if you have an excessive wax buildup. But let me just explain, because a lot of people get confused when they do get the topical. They expect it to be a cream or lotion. You will never see this as a cream or lotion, because with the cream or lotion, you have to use a chemical compound to blend it so that it can become a cream or lotion. When I say to you, it's all natural, that's exactly what I mean. And by saying that, that's why the topical is a liquid. The reason for that, the liquid gets right into your bloodstream. Any and all bacteria, viruses, or funguses will attack your lifeline, which is your blood. And that's why aloe vera is so effective. It gets right where the source of the bacteria or the virus is. And so in order to use the topical, what you want to do, and it has to be refrigerated, as well as the aloe vera that you drink, you must shake it up, because the particles in the bottom is actually the aloe vera. It's the lower part of the leaf, which there is a lot of strength there. Now, when you shake it up, you want to take, let's say, a container that's open, like a dish or saucer or something. You want to pour about maybe 2 to 3 ounces in that dish or saucer. Take your fingertips, not a cloth, not a sponge, not a cotton ball, because you want this to absorb directly into your body. That's where you're going to get the benefit. If you use anything other than that, it's going to absorb into the cloth, the sponge, or the cotton ball. If you have hair issues, like there are a lot of people are losing their hair and they don't understand why. The reason you're losing your hair, there is a bacteria that's in your scalp, that's in your hair follicles, which is the area where the hair comes out of the body. That bacteria is preventing your hair from coming through so that it can replenish the old hair that is there. If you take that topical, rub it on your scalp, watch what happens. It kills the bacteria, then it opens up the hair follicles and releases the new hair so that it can come out. It is also good for if you have fibromyalgia, arthritis, tendonitis, all of these joint issues. Take the topical, take your fingertips, rub it on those areas and watch how it releases and lessens the pain that you're suffering. And over a period of time, you will see the pain will slowly go away. So that's what the topical is. It's the plant as well, but it's the bottom part of the leaf. And the reason it's strong is because the more the strength it is, the more effective it is. So hopefully that helps. If there are any more questions.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Susie.
Hi, Susie.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm okay. I wanted to ask you about, okay, I've been taking the aloe vera for at least a year.
Uh-huh.
So at this point, should I still be wearing the mask? Nowadays, they're saying that people that have been vaccinated don't have to wear the mask.
Uh-huh.
So where does, yeah.
Okay. Let me just kind of, and I had a feeling this would come up, but I want to explain something to you, and then I'll answer your question. Okay. First of all, I don't know whether you really know what a virus is. So let me just kind of go through that for you, and then I will go through what a vaccine is, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. Okay. A virus is nothing more than an effective agent that gets into your body and it becomes a duplicate of one of your cells, and it needs a host. So the cell becomes the host. And because it duplicated itself and looked like the cell receives it. Now it is in the body, in the cell, and it can start duplicating itself. A virus has a piece of code that will tell the cell how to copy itself. That's how the virus moves through your system. Okay? All it is an infective agent that got into the body. Because if most of you, if you know anything about the cells, only a virus can penetrate the cell. Bacteria cannot. Okay? When the virus penetrates the cell, it immediately causes the cell to duplicate itself, causing the infection. And by the time the body realizes that this cell is not healthy, it has multiplied itself so many times. Now the body is trying to build up the immune system to fight it. But if you have, and that's why with people who they say have underlying health conditions, your immune system is compromised, so the body can't fight and protect you from the virus. And that's why they say that you need a vaccine. Now, what a vaccine is? A vaccine is simply a substance that looks like and acts like the virus, but it builds up a defense against the virus, which is called antibodies. And if you've listened to the scientists, as they say, talk about antibodies, that's what they're talking about. It is a substance that the body secretes that says, be on guard, there is an invader in the area. Well, if your body is weak, your immune system, and you can't build up that defense, you become victim to the virus. Okay? Now, let me explain why aloe vera is so effective against this virus. Go back, and I've asked and kind of explain, when you go to Numbers, and I'm talking about in the Bible now, when you go to Numbers chapter 24, verse 6, it tells you that normally God gives instructions or commands to the prophets, the disciples, and the apostles to do what he wants done. But if you look at that verse, in this particular instance, God himself planted the aloe vera. Remember, I said previously, aloe vera, when God touched it, he released the miracle of healing in it. Always know, man cannot heal you. Healing comes from God. When God touched that plant, he gave that plant certain instructions about healing. If this plant is consumed or used, any and everything that it comes in contact with that is not biologically, naturally supposed to be in the body, it will heal it and destroy it. So for those of you that have compromised immune systems, when you take this aloe vera, it automatically builds up your immune system and put it on notice and put it on guard that there is an invader in the area. At that point, the invader is attacked, destroyed, and removed to keep the body healthy. Then it goes around and check the system and build up a protective barrier so that if the invader comes again, it will not be able to enter the system because of that protective barrier. And so that's what aloe vera does for all of us, whether you have a good immune system or not. Now, I will answer your question. I don't believe in science. And even though I am a scientist, I don't believe in it. I never wear a mask unless they won't let me in the place. That's the only reason I wear a mask. Always know, when you're wearing a mask, a virus cannot live outside of a host. That's why it tracks down people. The virus, when it attacks you, it's looking for oxygen. And so what happens, it competes with you with the oxygen that you have in your body because it's trying to survive. So when you're wearing a mask, because these viruses are airborne, it gets in your mask and you're wearing it, it's an easy entrance to your system. So a mask with your face, nostrils, and mouth covered, the virus can enter into your eyes. It can get into your ears. All it needs is an open space. So I don't wear one. First of all, it's uncomfortable and I can't have breathe. Second of all, I'm not going to give the virus easy entrance when I need space and air, because I know as long as I have aloe vera in my system, I'm protected from the virus. So I don't wear it. I mean, it's up to you. If you feel comfortable wearing it, then you can. But if you don't feel comfortable, I can tell you, with taking the aloe vera, you don't have to worry, you're protected. Does that help you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Miss Rebecca, we have a
Yes.
question in the chat, and it is from Mrs. J.
Okay.
Can you use the topical for foot and ankle swelling?
Yes. Yes. Any area outside. As a matter of fact, if you have problems with your feet, you can rub the topical on the area, or if you have issues with a lot of swelling, get a pail that you can put your feet in. Take about 4 ounces of the aloe vera topical, put in that pail, and put about, I would say, 2 to 3 ounces of water. And just while you're watching TV or just relaxing, just let your feet sit in there. It will absorb into your feet, releasing excess water, and it will also release inflammation. A person that feet swells need to be very careful, because that is a sign that your body is retaining excess fluid. When your body retains excess fluid, you are headed for congestive heart failure. And so you want to get this fluid off of your system as soon as you can, and continuously remove it, because you're seeing it in your feet, but it's throughout your system. So yes, you should and can use it anywhere on the outside of the body, as often as you want. The more often you use it, the more effective it is. Okay. All right. Does that help you?
Thank you, Miss Rebecca. We don't have any more questions in the chat. So if someone else has a question, please raise your hand.
Hey, Miss Rebecca, I have a question. This is Donna.
Hi, Donna.
So they're talking about shedding with the vaccine. I don't know if you've heard that. For people who've taken it's called shedding. So people who've taken the vaccine, they're saying the people who have not taken the vaccine can be affected because of, it's called shedding. I don't know if you heard, but I already know, I'm with the aloe, you're protected. So yeah, that's the latest I've heard.
Well, let me just say this. For those of you who have taken it, you have to be prepared. And I'm just being very honest with you. Be prepared, because you don't know the long-term effects of what this vaccine is going to do. And remember, the vaccine is supposed to be effective for 6 months. Well, you have to ask yourself, and this is logically thinking, after 6 months, then what? Now they're saying every 6 months, they want you to come and get a booster. Well, you have to be careful, because the body, when God created it, he created it that it would heal itself. And the body is quite aware of when it's running into trouble, because it will tell you it's pain. You start feeling pain, you feel uncomfortable. That means you need to examine what's going on. But when you start having surgeries and procedures and injections, you are counteracting the body defense mechanism. Now, this virus, and remember, we live among viruses. So the rest of your life, are you going to be taking boosters or vaccines? At some point, it has to come to an end. And you have to ask, what then? Because you can't keep doing this all your life. That's why God gave us natural protection. All we have to do is use it. If you think back, our ancestors didn't go through all of these things because they did what God said. And we're jeopardizing by not doing what God said. I've had several conversations. As a matter of fact, yesterday, a woman, 89, I think she told me, she called me and she was talking about her heart condition. And she broke down and started crying. Her doctor, and these are her words, was in the process of trying to kill her because of the medicine they gave her. Be very careful what you ingest. I am a chemist, and let me just say this to you. The body is made of chemicals. When you enter another chemical into your body, you create an unknown because there is a chemical reaction. And with that unknown is called a free radical. You don't know the damage that it's doing to your body. That's why when you take medication over a period of time, it destroys your organs. So if you've got, it's your body, you've got to be careful what you put in it if it's not natural. You've got to be careful. Because if not, you're signing your death certificate. With this woman that I spoke to yesterday, the doctor had her on a blood clotting medicine for her heart. And the assistant, the physician assistant, came outside when the woman was leaving and asked her not to take the medicine to look for a new doctor. Just be careful. Be very careful. I don't know what else I can say to stress that. Let me just say this to you. I don't take medicine. The doctor that I get my physical, I put her on notice. I will be there. You and I can be good friends as long as you do not ask me to take medication, because if you do, you will never see me again. I'm like I tell her, medication makes me break out into the hives. I won't allow my body to be consumed with medication. It's your body, it's a gift from God. You've got to take care of it. Okay? Does that help you?
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Rebecca, we have a question in the chat. It's from Gloria, and she wants to know, how often can we use the topical in our hair?
As often as you want, but make sure you put it in the scalp. And normally, after you wash your hair, put it in the scalp and rub it in, but you can use it as often as you want, because the more you use it, the more effective it's going to get to help you kill the hair follicles, the bacteria that lives there. So as often as you want. It's not going to harm you. It is all natural. And in the preparations, and let me just say this, and hopefully you understand. Don't misunderstand me. Aloe vera is extremely, extremely potent. If you don't know what you're doing, trying to use it in its natural form, it can hurt you. It can hurt you. But because of the way that I have to prepare it, I've made sure that the cells can handle it. And not only can the cell handle it, it will be able to cleanse the cell, protect the cells, and flush the cells for cleanliness. Because that's really what it's doing. It's cleansing the entire body. And so, because of the way I prepare it, it is not going to harm you. As a matter of fact, I've had a couple of calls on different occasions where something happens when you take the 4 ounces, 2 in the morning and 2 at night. But let's say you have an issue with fibromyalgia, blood pressure, cholesterol, then what you can do, and I suggest this, increase it to 6 ounces from 4. Because the more you take, the more effective it's going to be. And once your body get acclimated to it, it's going to want more to keep the process going. So it's never too much, because I've taken care of it so it won't harm your cells. Okay? Does that help you?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next question in the chat is, and this is from Mrs. J. Can
Okay.
aloe vera juice be used for insomnia?
Yes. 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 There is, let me say this. There is nothing. When I say nothing, I mean exactly that it won't take care of. Remember what I just said. When God himself planted this plant, he planted it and gave it instructions of what it should do to the body and for the body. Anything and everything that this plant touches, it has instructions to heal it. And if you have damage done to certain parts of your body, it has instructions to repair it. If it can't repair it, it will replace it. But it's got to keep the body healthy. It's got to keep it balanced. It's got to keep it protected. It's got to keep it energized and rejuvenated. So yes, it will.
All right.
Ms. Rebecca, there's another question in the chat, and this
Okay.
is from Juanita McKenzie. What is the largest, you hit on this and you may have answered it, but her question was already in the chat, so I would like to go ahead and ask it anyway.
Sure.
What is the largest amount of aloe vera you can take in one day?
As much as your little heart desires, depending on your condition, because I'm telling you, if you want to take 8 ounces, you can take 8 ounces. You want to take 12 ounces, you can take 12 ounces. the more you take, the more effective it's going to be. So it depends on how you feel. You can gauge that, but under no circumstances should you take less than 4 ounces, because it's simply not enough to keep the system protected. Okay?
Thank you. There aren't any more questions in the chat. If someone has a question, please raise your hand.
I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay. Well, I've been involved with the aloe vera and Metabo for a long time. I've got the product here, and I was on Metabo's call the other night. I shared something with him what's happening to my wife, and it's quite serious. She has taken aloe vera in the past, but November 1st, she went in the hospital. Her mind was not clear. Ever since then, she's been in and out of the hospital nursing home. And the doctors gave up on her. They said she's got a super bug in her body. All the antibiotics have been given her cannot take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Her liver is failing. She's got internal bleeding. She's got many other problems. So now they're sending her home in hospice to die. She's coming home tomorrow. And I'm trying to do what I can to keep her alive. And now she's home. I can give her the product again. Now, my question is, I need to get it fast, I guess. And that's I left a message on your answer machine about it. She's bleeding internally. They've cauterized veins in her neck, on her stomach already. She has urinary tract infection. Her liver is failing. She's had ammonia level too high. So she's got to keep her bowel movement going. She's a diabetic, and on and on. So that's the long and short of it. I'll just listen to what you have to say.
Yes, yes. Let me say this to you. Do not put your wife in hospice. What I suggest, and I'm telling you this for a reason, when a person, and I don't know how many of you realize this, when they request that you put somebody in hospice, they are preparing to euthanize that person. Don't do it. What I suggest.
Well, it's already done already, but I guess she's coming home tomorrow. I know that. Basically, let her come home. If her mind goes goofy, I can't call 911 because of an infection. We just got to make her comfortable and let her die.
Well, no, what you want to do, if you have the aloe vera, when she comes home, a person with these type of issues, you want to give her 8 ounces immediately.
But it's old. It's been 6 months old.
Huh?
It's in the refrigerator 6 months.
It lasts a year. As long as
okay, because Matava said, okay.
Yeah, as long as it's refrigerated, it lasts a year.
Mm-hmm.
So
it has been.
So what I suggest is that you immediately, as soon as she gets home, you want to give her 8 ounces. And you want to do this for the next 5 days. How much do you have?
About half a gallon left.
So that's not going to last for 5 days.
No.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is John.
John?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you do this?
Huh? Yeah, go ahead.
I want you have my number, right?
Yes.
I want you to call me when we get off of this.
Okay.
I want you to call me because we're going to get you through this. And I'm going to work with you in very, very closely so we can get her through this. And as I just said, her kidneys or her liver that you said that is failing, the aloe vera is going to kick in, repair it, or replace it. And
Yeah.
that's why, but you have to be consistent. You
Right.
must be consistent. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Should I have an extension for you? Should I call and push an extension or not?
You can call, what number do you have for me?
It was off your website.
Okay, I'm going to give you my cell phone number.
Okay.
And I want you to call me 703
7103. Okay.
926
Okay.
2259.
Okay.
Okay, I want you to call me
Yeah.
as soon as we get off of this, because there's some things I want to talk
Okay.
to you about. Okay.
Okay.
And we can get you through this. All right.
Okay.
But
Right.
when they, here's my suggestion. When they send her home to go into hospice, they're going to give you some medication. Don't give it to
Yes.
her. Don't do it. That's the morphine and that combination that will stop her heart and all of her body functions. You don't want to stop her functions. You want to keep them going.
Well, she said they got to take care of this laxative to keep her bowel movements, because otherwise her ammonia level is going to go up.
But when she comes home, the aloe vera is going to, this is what I'm saying. Whatever you give
Yes.
her, if you give her the aloe vera, it's going to flush it out anyway.
Okay.
Okay. But
Okay.
when you and I talk, if you follow the instructions to the T, you will get through this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been there. She just wants to come home so bad. She's crying. I want to come home. I want to come home. And I know what's going to happen if I keep up. Her mind is going to go goofy. And then we just got to sit there and watch her die because they'll comfort her. You know,
Now,
that's hard.
let me just say something to you.
Yes.
Someone just left my house.
Yeah.
And she has a son who is 19. And with having emotional illnesses, he also is into substance abuse. And so she told me about it, and we gave him some of the aloe vera. Well, he has this probation officer that he has to go see. When he took the aloe vera, it flushed the substance out of his system. When he went to see the probation officer, she knew he was still on this substance, but she couldn't detect it. So she asked him, "What are you taking?" He told her. She said, "I don't want you to take it anymore." So he stopped taking it. This product was repairing his emotional, mental issues, and it was cutting and deterring and destroying the bacteria that causes him to have the urge for the drugs. So she and I just finished a conversation that she's going to start him back on it because he's too young to be in battle with this kind of problem.
Okay.
Okay.
What about her diabetic medicine shots?
Everything that's wrong with her, everything, not some things. If you follow the instructions, I will assure you that this problem can be solved.
All right. I'll talk with you after the call.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. You're quite welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rebecca. At this time, we're going to hear testimonies. If there's anyone that has a testimony, please raise your hand to be recognized. Michael?
Hello, Ms. Rebecca. This is really not a testimony, but it's a question that I have. Over the last few, I guess, years or months, I've had several friends that have had babies like in their 40s. they've had some in their 20s and 30s, but recently they've been saying like, I'm sorry, the last child that they've had, when they come out of the hospital, I guess when they do the epidurals and stuff, they go into these deep depressions that they've never experienced before. After they have these children. And so is there a correlation now with the way that the medication, because I was looking at TV and I saw the young lady whose son is passed, but a lot of them are experiencing these depressions and like really don't want to have anything to affiliate or do with the children. So is that something that aloe vera can address, with that, as far as that part is concerned?
Yes, there are a couple of things happening. As you get older, your body is preparing to relieve itself of childbearing responsibilities. So women that have children at older ages, that is one of the reasons that you will see a lot of autism, mental disorders, because the body now is going by nature, going through a phase where childbearing responsibilities, it's being relieved of that. What these people have to do, because they've already gone through the process, they have to drink it consistently, and it will bring the body back in balance. What you're dealing with is an out of balance hormonal issue. And aloe will bring the hormones back into balance to get them to be more receptive and understanding of this child and the needs of that child. So yes, it will help them, but they have got to be consistent. And aloe vera, let me just say this to you. Aloe vera works. And the reason it works quickly is because it gets into your bloodstream. That's your lifeline. But it's a slow process because it's not going to put the body in shock. It works with the body and not against the body. So what I found, a lot of people drink it and they feel better and they stop. You can't. You can't. In order for the process of healing to continue, you must drink it. You must be consistent. Because if not, it's a temporary fix and you get back into the situation that you're trying to relieve yourself of. So yes, that's what's going on. They're dealing with a natural hormonal issue with time, and now they're trying to go against the grain of time. So now the body has to be brought back into a situation that it's trying to pass through. So yes, aloe vera will accommodate that so that they won't have these mental issues. That's a hormonal imbalance.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Rebecca. Are there any more questions or testimony?
Hi, this is Dawn again. So I have a testimony.
Okay.
And I had shared this with Miss Rebecca. So for the last couple of years, I've been having styes to come on both of my eyes. It's something new that I really couldn't figure out. So anyway, within the past couple of months, I've been using the topical in my eyes. And maybe last month, I got the styes again, and they were very painful. I don't know if you all have ever had a stye come up on your eye, but it hurts. So every morning when I wake up, there's a lot of mucus in my eyes. So I said, wow, this is real interesting. So basically now all the both styles are gone, but I continue to use it. And Rebecca's right, you have to be consistent with taking the aloe vera. But it's just impressive to me. So all along, and I have problems with my eustachian tube getting clogged. And so all of that is just mucus sitting basically in my head. And the aloe vera is bringing it out like through my eyes. That's just my That's how I'm looking at it, Rebecca.
That's
So
true. It's
yeah,
true.
it's amazing. And thank you so much.
Sure, you're welcome. Yeah, it's true. And see, understand this about information. It's created, but the body can't use it and the body can't get rid of it. That's why you have to find a way to get rid of it. And aloe pulls it out. And just to test it, if some of you don't know what I'm talking about, just take your aloe vera after you brush your teeth, just hold it in your mouth for about 5 minutes and watch how much mucus it pulls from your mouth, your throat, your nasal area, and your head area. Most people are that say they have a sinus infection. That's not what you have. You have an inflammation infection. And you got to be careful because inflammation can create an infection that can get into your brain that can be fatal. So you got to be very careful with inflammation. And when you see the mucus coming from your eyes, it had your system clogged, and that's what it does. It backs the system up so nothing flows properly. That's why a lot of people end up with headaches. And migraines are even associated with the backup of inflammation in the body. You have to find a way to get rid of it. Okay?
I can attest to holding it in your mouth and the mucus coming out too, because I've done that too. And yes, it does bring out a lot of mucus. It's amazing.
Yes.
And it helps with pain too, with your teeth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah, it really does. When that first happened, Miss Rebecca, that mucus, I said, "Oh my God, it was so much mucus, it almost choked me literally." Like, yes, it does bring out the mucus.
Oh,
You
yeah.
hold it in your mouth. That thing is amazing.
Yeah, and people don't realize how much mucus they're walking around with, and this thing is detrimental to your health. But if you don't know it's there, how do you get rid of it? And that's what aloe vera does. Things that you don't know, it knows, and it will take care of it. Yes. So
Thank you. We have a raised hand, and I don't want to mess up the
And your
first
mouth.
name. So, Logan.
It's okay. Thank you. It's my son. How you doing, everyone? Hi,
Thank
Miss
you.
Rebecca. In
Hi,
lieu of the
Denise.
time and everything that I know that it's almost over with, and she needs to get to the gentleman there because I feel for the gentleman and I want him to know that I've been praying for him and his family. But my testimony, Miss Rebecca, for my family, back in January, we became extremely sick. And I didn't go get no COVID shots. I didn't go do none of that stuff at all whatsoever. I got sick first, then my son got sick, and then here I was trying to help him. But the only thing that I was able to do is the aloe. And let me say this, my daughter, oldest daughter, they're over in Indianapolis. My other daughter was over in Kansas City, and we were over here in Missouri. And I tell you, it's the only thing that saved my life. And I can attest to that on many occasions. I don't know what my diagnosis was. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I do know whatever was happening with me, it knocked me for a loop. Matter of fact, I was out of commission for almost 2 weeks, and I would literally pour the aloe down me and my son's throat. I asked Miss Rebecca to send some of that juice over there to my family in Indianapolis and send it over here to my daughter in Kansas. In the meantime, we have a new grandbaby that's turned 5 months on my birthday, Miss Rebecca. You already know. And that baby was exposed to different things in the mother's womb. Now, long story short, she is doing fantastic. Everybody is doing much better. And I tell you, I feel like I have more energy now than I've had when I was in my 20s and 30s. And so, Miss Rebecca, my hat's off to you. And I know the gentleman that's crying out about his wife. I feel his pain. He needs to be on this aloe also, so it can help him to relax, help him to understand how this aloe is going to work. And Miss Rebecca, if you have a few minutes, I would love for you to let everyone know how this aloe vera works on the kidney and the liver. If you can just give a brief synopsis of that. Thank you all for yielding the floor to me and my son as we're sitting here listening in. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, there are specific instructions. And let me just take it back to this, and maybe this can help you. And it goes back to Genesis, the first chapter of the Bible. It tells us that God spoke and things came into existence. But if you continue to read, it said, God took the clay from the earth, molded with his hands, and shaped man in his own image. I say that because I want you to understand something. Anything and everything God touched has power. Man has more power than he realizes. He doesn't know how to use it. Now, remember I said God touched him. And I told you earlier that when God planted the aloe, he touched it. He didn't ask anybody to plant it. He did it. There were instructions, spiritual instructions that God touched man. He gave him certain instructions that he is not following. And that's why we're running into a lot of our own problems. But when God touched the aloe and planted it, he gave it instructions. The aloe is obedient. It's following God's instructions. Anything and everything it touches, it will heal it. It will heal you if you drink it. But you've got to be consistent. And the example that I want to show you the difference between what a plant will do compared to what man will do. When I say a plant is obedient to God's will and his way, let's take, for example, some weeds. Every year in my flower garden, I'm battling with these weeds. They will come up and I tried to kill them. Well, I get all this stuff. I kill them this season, but guess what? Next season it's back again. And when I say that, what I mean is I don't care how many times I try to kill this weed. God gave that weed instructions. Every year at that time, that weed is going to surface. If you notice, if you've got concrete somewhere, you will see the weeds coming through that. That is what I mean. It has instructions to blossom at a certain time. And that's what it's going to do. That's obedience from the instructions that God gave it. Now with us, I can tell you all night to drink it. But I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I forgot, I got busy, I did that. Then you're not obedient. The question I have, do you really want to be healthy? Do you really want to be healthy? These are the instructions God gave this plant and your body. If you drink it, the body is supposed to receive it, and everything, anything that's wrong with you, it will be dealt with, but it has to be consistency. And you have to be accountable to yourself. If you don't, I can't help you with that. All I can do is pray for you, that one day you will love yourself enough to be obedient to the needs of your body, which is a gift from God. And you have to understand, this gift one day you're going to be held accountable to God for it. So if you abuse it, you have to be prepared to explain it. You shouldn't take it lightly. Okay?
Thank you, Ms. Rebecca. We have 2 questions in the chat. And after these 2 questions are answered, we're going to end for tonight.
Okay, let me just,
Um,
I'm sorry, Alice.
Oh.
Denise asked me for a question. I forgot to answer it.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm sorry, Denise. Let me,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me. I know it's my fault because I forgot to answer.
Okay.
Denise, the liver and the kidney. Yes, the body, the aloe will rebuild. I'm working with a gentleman right now in Orlando. He had a procedure where the doctors damaged his kidneys in 2013, and they were what the doctor said irreplaceable or repairable. And so one of the ladies told him about the aloe vera last June. He ordered it, and you all have heard him, Mr. Brown, that was on here. Mr. Brown has drank the aloe vera consistently. It is regenerating him a kidney. They are taking him off of the kidney transplant list. Anything in the body that is damaged, if the aloe can't repair it, it will replace it. And so all of your organs, that includes bones, whatever, these are specific instructions from God. And that's why I said these plants and body parts are more obedient than we are. They follow God's instructions. So your bones, it will replace if they're damaged. For people who have arthritis and bone on bone, it will replace the ligaments and tendons that causes that to keep from happening to you. So yes, it will. Now, I'm sorry, we can go to the next one.
Okay, thank you. You've answered these questions, but since they're in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and ask them anyway.
Okay.
The first one is, are you saying that once, and this is from Barbara Chase, are you saying that once the body has healed, you can stop taking aloe? And the second question is, can it reverse retina or diabetic issues of the eyes?
If it's, okay. That's it?
Yes, and those are the last 2 we're going to take for this evening.
Okay. Yes, it will reverse the damage to the eye if you're consistent. Again, it depends on you. If you are consistent, it will do the job. So that answers that question. And the other question was what?
The other question is,
oh, about the length of time.
Are you saying that the body, once the body is healed, you can stop taking the aloe?
Okay, I will answer that this way. If your body is healed, how do you keep it cleansed? Because you have to remember, aloe is really a cleanser. The body will heal itself. The only reason you are ill is because uncleanliness. So if you don't take the aloe, you eat every day, your body don't use all the food that you eat. How do you cleanse your body? What are you going to use to cleanse it? Because remember, if you don't cleanse it, you will repeat your issues. And not only that issue, because the body is so contaminated, it generates other issues. I will say this to you. I've been taking it ever since 1982, and I haven't stopped and I won't stop. Okay? Does that help you?
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, it is now 9:05 p.m. and we're out
Okay,
of,
let me, hello, Mr. John, one more time.
Yes.
I just want to make one comment, so everybody can hear this.
Okay.
And 2 days before Valentine's Day, in the nursing home, my wife was doing quite well. She was walking around in therapy. They gave her a COVID shot. 2 days later, she's in the hospital in Green Bay in critical condition with 11 IV bags hanging there trying to keep her alive. And the doctor says, oh, it's a coincidence that she got a COVID shot and she's almost dead. No, it took a couple weeks to revive her again, but that is a warning I have on that COVID shot. It almost killed my wife. And ever since then, she's been going downhill. So I want everybody to hear that too.
Okay. Okay. As I said, you and I will have an offline conversation because I want to share some things with you that we can turn this situation around. But I have something. I'm sorry?
I asked that number again, 703-926-2259.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, thank you.
That's it.
All right, good enough.
I realize, that continuously taking this product, I want to offer you something. I'm committing to this. Every 9 containers that you purchase, I'm going to do a loyalty gift. The 10th, I will send you on me. Okay? So I have these loyalty cards that I'm going to, when I ship this to you, I'm going to ship the card with it. I'm going to put it in an envelope. Do not throw the envelope out because what it does, each time you order, you punch that card. And I'm going to track the orders myself. So if you don't track it, I will automatically ship the 10th one to you.
Okay.
All right. And that's for all of you, every one of you. Even the people that I delivered to in Pentagon City. Okay. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, that I'm working to meet you halfway as best as I can.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I have these cards for those that I will be, and I'm going to start sending the cards out. And so whenever you see an envelope in the package, don't throw it out. Just get the card and start keeping track. And you can keep track starting with the order that you receive.
Okay.
Okay?
We'll put that order in. Now, I'm ready to put the order in again because I need the fresh stuff. Okay, we'll talk in a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Thank
So
you.
I just wanted to share that with you all.
Good evening, Miss Rebecca. This is Barbara. Do you think that this is the time that you would like to mention about the market that's going to be happening for the people that live in the DMV area?
Yes. Yes, I forgot. Yes, I forgot. Usually we go to the farmer's market. Where is it, Barbara? On?
It's off of Alabama and Randall Street.
Okay. And it starts June 5th. For those of you who live in the area that we usually meet at Pentagon City, the market, you can actually pick up your orders from the market if you choose. Because I won't be there most of the time, but Keisha says she's going to take on the market. So she will be there with your orders. Periodically, I might stop in, but I've got a lot going on, so I won't be there. But if you choose to go there, because she's going to be in DC, for those of you who live in Maryland, DC, and Virginia, you can go right to the market and get your order. It starts effective June 5th. And it normally goes, it's open between.
Excuse me 1 minute, Miss Rebecca. Will you please mute your lines, please? Thank you, I'm sorry.
Okay, the market opens between 10 and 3, I believe. And it goes from June 5th to normally the week before Thanksgiving in November. That's what they told me when they called me and told me about it. So yes, I'm glad you reminded me, Barbara, because I really forgot.
And this is every Saturday,
Yeah.
seasonal, based on the time frame, every Saturday.
Yep, every Saturday.
Okay, and again, it's Alabama Avenue in Southeast and Randolph, and the landmark is behind a church that's called Rehoboth Baptist Church, which is 621 Alabama Avenue. It's right behind that church. It's a parking lot with a school. You can't really miss it. Again, the landmark would be the church, which is 621 Alabama Avenue. It is not in the church. I'm using that as a landmark. It's behind the church. And again, it's Alabama and Randolph. There's a store on the corner, and then there's a church, and right behind that church with the steeple, you'll see the setup right there.
I think that's Randall, not Randolph.
Is it Randall? Yeah, that's correct. You are correct, Donna. It's Randall. I think that's Randall.
Randle.
Okay. You live over there?
I work in Southeast.
Look at you, girl. Go. All
But
right.
I've been over there before when Miss Rebecca was over there, so I'm familiar.
I stand to be corrected. Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you for being with us tonight. We're out of time. So if your question did not get answered, you can send us an email at abch@avjuice@gmail.com, or call and leave us a message. And the phone number is 202-556-3181. 3181.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes, please.
Okay. I've been getting a lot of calls. And one of the gentlemen that called me said he felt that a month was too long. And so I explained the situation, and they said they would have recommendations to offer on how to resolve it. And I made it very, very clear. I am tied up with quite a few things that I cannot do this on a weekly basis. So I'm not sure whether he's on here. Mr. Taylor and Denise was supposed to come up with some suggestions on how to solve this so that they can get you all's input on what you think about resolving this. So, Mr. Taylor, I'm not sure Denise, are they
Yes,
on here?
ma'am. I'm here.
Is Mr. Taylor on here?
Yes, he's here.
Mr. Taylor, you and Denise, please tell the group what your suggestions are.
Okay, Mr. Taylor, Miss Barbara, if you all don't mind, he has someone there to help assist him and everything. But our discussion for the last couple of days or whatever, Mr. Taylor was requesting that once a month was not enough for, because of the factor that that's way too long. So we came up with a solution for that. And I had told Miss Rebecca that you guys are doing a fantastic job over here with the Zoom. So since you guys are here on the second Friday, we will attempt to go to the fourth Friday, provided that there is a fourth Friday, and then that we would go back on her regular conference line. So it wouldn't necessarily be a Zoom call, but it would be on her regular conference line, and then we will assist there. But I also told Ms. Rebecca that if anyone here is listening in that need to get their questions answered, we also say wanting to put it on the website, frequently asked questions. And for those that have any opinion on it or however they may feel about us having this call the second Friday after this one, where it's like every other Friday, provided that there's an extra Friday or not or whatever, then they could go ahead and send the information to you all so you all can monitor that, as well as if they're calling you to see if they can get more questions answered. And then we're also wanting to do topic related discussions, provided that they make known that that's what they would like to talk about. Well, the first one in mind was the cancer. We note that that's notable. Then the next one might be diabetes, where we can have that posted on our recording line where they could go and listen in if they're not able to reach Ms. Rebecca, and then they can hit a button. So maybe 1# would be for cancer, 2# would be for diabetes, and so on for whatever the topic. And then if they have a specific topic that they don't discuss here on the conference line, she would be willing to talk about that on a recorded line, and then we would place that there for them to go and push the button. So she wanted to get everybody's feedback, like a poll on that, where they can send all the information to you all on the ABC juice there. You all can please give that again, and then the telephone number, the Google number, and then we will set it up. It won't take but like 5 minutes to get the recordings to go over to another line for them to call in and hit 1#, 2#, 3#, and so on, sequential order or whatever their specification is, and then we will have it detail which number goes with each topic or subject. So you, Ms. Rebecca's looking for feedback on that. And then she's also looking for feedback on why you guys don't ask questions. Even though you do here on the line here, we know that there's not enough time allotted. But if you all would ask questions, then she could see that you guys are interested. And then she also want to know if you all are willing to talk amongst yourselves. So she would be in listening in, but she want you all to have a dialogue. So those are the things that we're trying to come up with. So if you all have any suggestions, comments, etc., where we can make this even more efficient for those that are curious about what's going on with Miss Rebecca, once a month, every other week or whatever, fine. Now that I'm feeling a lot better, guys, I will step in and stay in my own lane. I'm not going to get in the lane of the Zoom. Okay. So
Okay. Denise, this is Barbara.
Yes.
I really appreciate all of the, I would say, recommendations. We're definitely open for you to come onto the team and to actually assume some of the recommendations that you put out. I think the reason why at this time we kind of like transitioned from a 4 times a month to monthly, because we are working people.
Yes.
And some of us are not workers. If those who really want to see this as often as once a month, I definitely open up the door for them to be a part of the team. I have no issues in assigning them a host administrative so they can do it. I would love to. We did it on a monthly basis, and to be very, very candid and honest, it was very overwhelming when you have other responsibilities that kind of like compete for the time. And and me personally, I am not going to wear myself out like that.
I understood. And I don't blame you.
Very candid with you, but I am definitely willing and open to have anyone who wants to execute and take on the extra responsibilities,
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
very welcome to be a part of the team.
And that was the conclusion that we came up with. Miss Rebecca said she would do another Friday. And if we need to do it via or via, I'm not familiar with the Zoom, but I am in the field of the conference lines, and I will be willing to participate with that. But I know Miss Rebecca has other irons in the fire, but she was also wanting us to see how everyone felt about it. And I'm open to whatever, but I will assist wherever I can. And then I also told Brother Jim with our conversation, we will set something up and then we will submit it and then we'll go from there. And we will try to get something done as early as Monday or Tuesday.
But this is let me just say one other thing to
Okay, go ahead.
Zoom is to give us all the capabilities, not just to be able to see me from a video, but to also to do a conference. If no one wants, this is a one-stop shop with this particular tool.
Okay.
I think I didn't want it to be any confusing. I wanted where everybody to come in either on their cell phones, video, where you can share these capabilities. When you start shifting, going, and it's not going backwards, D. I'm trying to stay with technology and move forward.
Exactly.
And if you would like to be trained on how to do the Zoom and have the conference phones, I would just like to not get confused doing
Well, you're breaking up, Miss Barbara.
I don't think that is conducive to do phone conversations in one area where you have one tool that can give you both the video and conference all as a package. I just think that we're not moving forward with technology, and that was the goal here. But then again, it's a survey can be done. It can be the call of the audience.
Yes, understood.
And another reason that we changed from every Friday to once a month is because we were only getting 25 to 30 people each night. If we had an audience that, we have to look at statistics. If we had an audience that we're trying to reach as many people as we can. But we were not getting the people. We were not getting the questions asked. So going once a month, we are meeting the demand that we have at this point.
Look, I like to say something. This is Taylor.
Taylor, excuse me just 1 second. Alice, did you officially end the call? Should I stop the recording?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Fran.
Go ahead, Ms.